chomping away at health bar. Looks like they're on for more long-range engagements as Orangutan falter out in the open. Losing a player, and that's Ulf now up to 2. The open ground looks like they're good for the hunting. And as we saw, that spray from their end was pretty beautiful. Looking good with it. Players are starting to find out all about it. 2 teams now have lost a player to them. And a good start. Fury on the eastern side, pushing in. Trying to get past X-Force rejects who have managed to wend their way on through. 4 Thrives have regrouped beyond that out to the west, just north of Ferry Pier. And Goat team on the east near Bgmi.
Yeah, only thing, the thing for Orangutan there is it's an awkward push for them, right? It is an awkward push, but when you're coming in that late, I think what would be better to do there was probably to try and play on those outreaches. There's still compounds to play up towards the eastern side of Gatka. You're slightly forcing center off the back of this one. And there's a lot of sight lines around that area as well. But they make it fairly safely. I mean, only losing 1 player is actually quite a good result for them, and they get a decently central position. But they're going to go further now as we head over on towards that side. DK extremely happy with the 2 positions they have locked down, but they will regroup off the back of this one. I think for Easy for Bad Boy, as well as the other player in that location, this might be a little bit bold to be holding 2 areas at once, because Thundertalk is rocking up towards their second duo on the west.
Pretty difficult terrain here, playing around that swamp, as you can see on that western side, teams starting to move in from the north edge. Enigma Galaxy actually full wrapping quarry here as well, moving in on this western side. RRQ may be a little bit on foot here, Blank. They were on that western coast fairly early on. They haven't pushed more inland, but that might play into their favor later on, depending in the fields to their east.
Yeah, 4 Thrives, they completely realize that God is probably massively chock-a-block over towards Quarry. So let's just swing round onto the western side. For RRQ, I don't terribly mind it playing on that western coast. Not really many areas that wouldn't have been taken up already. It depends how early they got to circle. I'd love to watch that back later on.
Just taking their time. Taking their time out on the western side. AGAL playing the long game all the way up on the north side, just near Crates right now, South George Pole. And we'll be playing quite late into the circle from the north side. Fortunately, there's not really too much to stop them moving in on the West Coast Road, maybe even crossing the fields to the west of Everest. Enigma Galaxy, they run into a little bit of a roadblock, or rather the roadblock runs into them, as 4 Thrives find the backlines of Enigma Galaxy, and I don't think you're getting him back up there. With the forwards position already established for Enigma Galaxy, they may lose even more if they're not careful.
Coops realizes he has to leave now. He did stop off slightly, but has to get a move on. We'll regroup with the rest of the team. It's not a horrible compound to play either, but it does become a horrible compound with only 3 players. It's a lot of area to hold here. They can't really afford to go for a 2-2 split between the buildings because they don't have that 4th player. So I think Enigma Galaxy might be tough, especially with this becoming quite a prominent area of the map.
On the north side, AGAL still playing it slow as 4 Thrives continue to sweep on the western edge. RRQ potentially next up on the menu for them. And AGAL may actually crunch in from the northern side on it, but Aurora now spanning the south expanses of this field to potentially be a stopper for this rotation. A split up as well. There are open angles for Aurora to try and exploit, but it looks like AGAL content to play it slow again.
I don't mind it. I mean, they were able to get a lot of eliminations the further they got into the game. Yes, about 5 of them came through very early on, but they were pretty steady with it. That does make things a little bit harder. Now, for GK, come on, guys. I think now's about the time to regroup. This is becoming a little silly now.
Please.
It's very, very greedy. Very, very greedy. Quarry still in play. Down towards that south side. I do Thundertalk's position off the back of that one. They can play up towards the hillside if they want to, coming out on that eastern edge. Furia as well has kept it fairly silent. Down towards that southeast edge, there's a big ridge side that runs through there. 4 Thrives, though, they're wrapping back. They are wrapping back, and Furia might have something to say about this.
Playing that stopper on some of the quarry mouth buildings, but I think Four Thrives, I mean, they came from this area. They're going to have a little bit of info, but Thunder Talk's presence might be an unknown quantity for them. They're sending straight through. I think they're just going to get past Blank. Four Thrives are going to settle themselves potentially right in the middle of GK's split.
There's an easy location to play there as well. It's high ground, looking down towards a lot of squads. My Furia, I question how much they saw of that, because they are playing with little information because the terrain in that area doesn't provide the sight lines over towards Four Thrives. GK tries to regroup, they lose one player off the back of it. I don't want to say I told you so, but
you do. You really want to say it.
I really do.
Say it.
I'm a smug type of guy. But no, for GK, it was a little greedy to hold it as long as they did. For Orangutan, I respect the decision to move in towards that location. It was only a matter of time, and I think GK could probably get away this one. It's just you pick one or the other. We're late into the game. There isn't a huge amount of fantastic compounds left anymore, and GK is trying to hold 2 of them.
Well, not anymore. Orangutan have actually taken that eastern point now. So, central locations are taken by GK, Orangutan, and Four Thrives. The South Hill, the most open, potentially the most vulnerable, but also potentially the most profitable in terms of point scoring capabilities. On that south edge, you've got Goat Team, Furia, going to be forcing teams to approach you in a very linear fashion. It's going to make it difficult to take down this position for a long, long time. So we'll see how Four Thrives can manage that. The north side, a little bit more messy, though. Teams are a little bit more spread out, trying to wend their way on through. Looks like it's plenty messy. AGAL.
I mean, for all gamers, they have had a slow approach into this game. They've been in the blue for a very long time. They have very little information going forward into this one. Goat's currently playing on a 2-2 split. Curious to see how all gamers want to play this now, because even Ketch is now having a little peek down towards that south side. He wants to check in on what's happening. And all gamers are like, okay, well, this looks very rough going on towards the west. Let's try the north. You can bang straight. For all gamers, it has just been a very slow game, which has led to little information. They're going to have to bank on having some strong gameplay going forward to try and cut a hole in the side of the
difference and not really running into too much competition on that move. Maybe slamming straight into GK's position. We've got as well Kiwoom inside, trying to keep themselves alive, but it's going pretty well. On their push, AGL tried to move in the wake of Ulf, but it's not going quite so cleanly for them. They have to stall, they have to falter, and OG are all too ready to take those points. So back on board with the nades coming in through the windows here. Ula wanting to hold out, but not quite connecting on either front. KRX popping Binny back, moving him into a more favorable position to try and go for those assists. And no nades are really connecting here, Black. Okay, there they connect.
Yeah, it's been a lot of explosions, not a lot of knocks coming through. Yeah, sure, Coop actually took most of the brunt of the damage so far. Nade right underneath his belly. Yeah, for all gamers, they headed down over towards that high ground, only to find themselves up against Four Thrives. Funnily enough, after all these nades are spent and done, it's actually the M4 that does the most damage through these windows. Oh, finally. We find 2 back-to-back coming from QXZ as well as Hoxie. Okay, I take it back. I take it back, guys. All right, I didn't mean it. I did not mean it.
Enigma Galaxy didn't manage to get in for a third party in time. In the meantime, on the southeast side, well, we're on board with AGAL there, but further out, you've still got Four Thrives suppressing Furia and Goat, forcing them into a fight with one another. You can see they're popping up in the Elim. And over on the north edge, as we're on board with Aurora and Flash, fighting over location, a fairly isolated fight.
Yeah, very much so. It's kind of a weird one too. I mean, for Aurora, you sort of expect the team to be playing on this one. It's a very classic spot. Most people know of this one. You use it because it's very easy to defend your vehicles in the ditch. Slightly nade bait, but for Aurora, they slow them down and try and just pass on by, but they are directly heading over towards Ulf. Oh, Scarface does find that initial shot, which is great to see from Scarface. That long-range capability comes into play, finally.
Looking for more. AGAL trying to get a little bit, but Aaron has other ideas. Sprays him down. Damage pouring on through. Orangutan moving Aru up. Does suppress Ulf a little bit, so maybe a little bit better of a chance for Aurora to piece themselves back together. But it is really difficult now to find any semblance of safety in the middle. Ulf do get all four of their players back up to their feet in their very central location now. Not too many teams are going to be able to take them down from this one. Aurora step in two with four Thrives, who are now up to 4 eliminations. They get that res. Now they're holding off against Top and Ziol on the off angle, as well as Goat putting pressure onto Falak.
Ooh, 4 Thrives, they're surrounded. If they get themselves out of this situation, it will be big news for them. Player pulled out the side of the vehicle. Ayala is down. Moxie moves up. Furia desperately fighting back here. Egos behind the tree, looking to bark back at this team. Finally finds the first with the help of Chief from the back lines.
Oh, 4 Thrives are here to play, though, and it's a shooting gallery. For the team from Pakistan, they're racking up the points now. They want to keep going. Aurora looking to backfill, maybe cause problems here, but RRQ is sandwiching. The far side now, nowhere is safe. Furia down to 1. Nobody is going to escape this compound. 2 teams enter, none will leave.
Huzaifa spots the enemy off in the distance, the danger coming through. Here backing up the vehicle into the wall, giving a little bit of makeshift cover as we go forward. Aru, though, doing some wonderful work over towards that northeast side. Sadly, just down to 2 there, but still holding off on his own. I think a lot of people had questions about Aru, but he's proving them wrong right now in terms of the gun skill. Very, very smart player overall, though.
Cypher's getting stuck in, just going toe-to-toe with Chief. This is dangerous. There are nades in hand. Cypher wants to go barrel to barrel, though, and it looks like they're going to hop through. Genfos able to snap that Elim back, though, and will leave Cypher out in the open with a nade. With 3 players from RQ bearing down upon him, the backup is not quite there from the rest of his team. He needs some oversight. He needs some assistance, but it's not there in time, and they have to deal with Aurora on the backlines.
Oh, T24 is quite low there. Took a bit of a tick from the blue. Couple more shots. Falak hits the deck, but from underneath finds it. There is a quick clap back here coming through from IQ, but it's not enough. As 4 Thrives are falling underneath the presence of RRQ. They come in from the sidelines at third party, and Viren will hit a nasty spray down. 7 Elins for RRQ on the second game of the day.
That was an overcommitment from 4 Thrives to this compound, to this third-party engagement. There was so much going on there. And Aurora, the duo from Ziol on top, forced them to stay in that third-party position. They didn't want to push back up. They might have had a better time of it, though, to be honest, because nobody from down below was going to push them. Huzaifa had overcommitted, and they just weren't quite able to gain that momentum back. 4 elims, not that many placements. That's not how you want to try and convert. And when you look at Geek's position, they are going to be able to catch you up, as well as D-Woom KRX.
It's a good buffer, though. It's a good buffer, though. 23 points right now. So far, I think it's decent over 2 matches. You're looking at roughly 11.5, right? So I think they're fine. I think they're fine at the moment. 4 Thrives just need one more decent game. Scarface does go down to Ragnarok. Get a little bit of bad, but Aaron with that M4, who has been so goddamn deadly today with so far, instantaneously finds a re-knock over towards Kike. In the meantime, the flash, as well as OG and Tanky with a 360. It's not quite enough to keep him alive there. The flash will hold out.
Just a moment longer on the south side. In the meantime, Thunder Talk trying to keep themselves together, but 2 players now left standing, as well as X-Force Rejects bearing down upon them. RRQ are going to fall. Okay, Aurora. Ziol on top, still going. Blank, they've been a real thorn in the side of this south side circle. Shiva tries to get the spray, dips out for another, dips out for more, does go down, and again, it's Aurora across the way who are making things so difficult.
Well, they're an opportunistic team. We'll get the next circle. It's setting us up over towards Ulf here. But we already saw the location this team was playing in. He looks barren. He looks deadly. Suddenly, you've got 6 other teams looking your way. They have to hit these shots as teams make their entry.
Kiwu and DRX on the northwest side with 4. Flash on the north with 3. Those 2 teams have major access angles towards Ulf's position, but I don't know if they're going to be able to convert it. On the southwest side that we're on board with right now, Nick the Galaxy, who have been slow, trying to work the ground, looking to pick up the pace now with an opener knock to Ragnarok, and he will potentially be a weakness that Enigma Galaxy can exploit. They're playing as 3. They're trying to keep this one going forwards. Kevin goes down to an 8 from Coops as they retreat to try and get the res onto Ragnarok. They won't be able to keep him safe. Ralph and Lord now charging forwards. Coops to be the backup. They are isolated in this fight. No third parties, and the rest isn't there. He pops up, but will it be enough? Steps out with another angle. He goes immediately back down, and Coops enters the front door.
For Geeky, at least they got the sweetest little goodbye from one of our friends out there in the crowd. But Geeky will go on no further. The flash from the distance. Ketch has eyes on. He knows he's playing out here. He knows he has to move. As you said, KRX moving on the sidelines. Always such an awkward area of the map to play. Difficult to get the right sidelines in position. Bose gonna step up, sends an nade over the top. It looks off kilter though.
Oh, forces him out wide and into the sidelines, and it's the barrels to do the dirty work. Binny not quite connecting. The shotgun is ringing out over the bonnet, nearly doing the work, but the explosion takes him down instead, and the rest of Flash looking to rally their support, but now it's just Tops in a 1 versus 1, I think, against Hoxie. But Keywomb DRX looking to keep things going, and Bose might be resable here. Hoxie kept out in the cold.
Hoxie moves forward. Expand the vehicle, but like you said, Tops getting his boy Bose back up on his feet. Nate sent through, not cooked for very long. Looks to use it as more of a distraction, but it is on target. Almost hit the double. Gets up towards the monster truck and use those vehicles as a little bit of cover here. The wheels, a great position to peek off the back of. You know what? QXC is resable. Molly goes far, goes long.
Forces him to stay up close to the vehicle. Less opportunity for some solid nade angles. The bounce looks good, but it only tickled. And he's stepping out wide. He's out in the open. Back to a nade, though. Hits the deck to stay alive. Doesn't go down to a spray. Hoxie there, under pressure. The monster truck keeping him safe. Another nade, another chance to find the knock. Forces him wide, but this time the shrapnel is just too much. And somehow Hoxie keeps it together for the Keywomb DRX.
Well, Hoxie just sending some lukewarm grenades. No intention at a single one finishing them off, but 4 of them, that'll do the trick. Aurora, carry on with Yol, as well as Top. Still playing for Enigma Galaxy though, right? This is a huge game for them. Not only because they've made it quite far into this game, but because they have to claw back those points right now. Their first game was devastating for their points tally. They need to get a little bit more out of this one. Currently, Ulf is stuck a little bit further out the circle, trying to watch for teams coming in from this south side, which I think makes sense. Try and clear that area as much as possible.
Top is pretty isolated here, but then again, if Coops or Lord gets spotted, gets taken down by either Top or a player from Ulf, it's going to be a little bit easier for him to find something. Ketch has been spotted. That's coming through from the Ulf. No, hang on a minute. Where is that coming from? I think that might be Ralph who's taking shots out to Ketch, but Lord is going to fall down, and Top now can start to chime in, look to pick those points away. Indeed, he does. He gets that flush. He steals that point away. And that is nasty for Enigma Galaxy. They lose another, and they're down to 2. Ralph regroups with Coops, and Top sends away. They're now on the back of the queue against Ulf to try and move their way forwards. Do they have the gumption? Do they have the power?
Coops fully stimmed up right now. Frothing at the mouth, looking for those elims. Ralph comes in from the sidelines. Might just find nothing off the back of this, and it absolutely is the case. Coops now has to make a recovery off the back. 3 seconds left on that grenade. It goes slightly wide. Might just tuck itself back in again. Ulf, in the meantime, trying to get the rest of their players back up on the sidelines. It could be big. Sticky grenade out next. Aaron extremely low.
Chucks, I think that went through the window there. Nearly takes them down, but they're behind the shack now. The info that Coops was able to gather from Ralph's roll forwards was that the other angle wasn't quite paying attention, but now they've got the res. Now they've got more, but Coops still has something left. He's charging forwards. Kelsey wants the res onto Aaron as the rest of Ulf are taking damage. That's coming through from across the way. Aurora, maybe even Keywomb DRX, and there he goes. Coops is on a tear. Ketch is down. It's just Scarface now to stand in the face. But can Coops get the angle? He turns around, confirms the points, and into the fight he goes.
This is the missing spearhead on the spear for Enigma Galaxy. He will finally go down. We almost saw him there in the picture-in-picture. a tiny smile on his face, despite that being one of the most insanely pressured moments for any player to be in. And Ulf is taken down by it. KRX, 9 elims on the game. It's a strong one for them, currently in second place and looking to take first after this all does conclude. But they've got to deal with Aurora, who have been once again immortal in this match.
Top and Ziol have just been marauding around these east side hills for so long, and they're actually now playing fairly close together. These nades, the peak angles that they can take, probably going to be quite profitable. Actually, Hoxie being in that shack may be a detriment to them. With the position it takes on the circle, the next zone closes dead center. He's going to have to leave first. So when does he do it? He might want to try and figure out something now.
We're into a 2v2 here. Ziol wraps around. The fact that Aurora's played on the north side, they've played back down towards the south. They have made a lot of plays that other teams try to go for and were unsuccessful in. It is magnificent, but they are down to limited materials. 3 nades, 2 smokes, 3 nades on top. He's going to try and move around the sides. If you can get him towards the shack here.
Smart. I mean, they saw that rotate away from Hoxie, and Top was trying to get that off angle, but now has to step back in as Hoxie's putting Ziol under pressure. Top yet to step into the firing line, but draws the attention and disengages the fight.
This is good from KRX, so I love the layering with the vehicles. Had to be done there to ensure that, you know, it's difficult to get one sightline onto a singular player in the vehicle. Whilst you've got 2, you may as well use them. These nades start to come through now, trying to get some damage done. Hoxie's back up to 70%. That nade's on target. It's beautiful here. QXC now has to deal with the other players. Another one right up in his face. They go wide. Top's moving around the side. Aurora, a difficult beast to handle.
This is what Top wanted to do originally. The pressure onto Ziol made it too hard. Another nade, and Ziol nearly takes it down there, but Top now has the angle. He's got them on a broadside. Oh, insult to injury. Take down the down player first, but it is a duo chicken dinner coming through from Aurora.
Aurora, after that, they take second place. KRX obviously shut themselves up into wards first. It's a really good game so far from KRX over the 2 matches. I think what we've got to take from this is the consistency these boys have been able to put out compared to other teams. But Aurora certainly shows that these guys are here to play.
Goodness me, such a problem on that east side. Their crowning moment was the pressure that they put on 4 Thrives on their eastern side, moving down towards the hills and forcing 4 Thrives into an unfavorable position. Really nothing that they could do about it at that stage, but what a pressure that those 2 players have.
Oh yeah, I think it's scary to play against. It really is. It's that fear factor sometimes that can be awkward to play around. Not a single moment was there where we didn't see KRX under basically the hydraulic press of those 2 players, constantly switching positions, constantly making it very, very difficult to work with. Even when they layered the vehicles, instantaneously Ziol's ready and waiting to back them off those angles. Cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. And instantly after they backed off, the boys just instantly went elsewhere. So you immediately had no information once again. Again, that's that veteranship coming through from Aurora. They've played a lot of these moments before.
Absolutely. They know what they're doing. And I mean, it was, you could see how aware of exactly what pieces need to be where when Top regrouped back over after that flex out, and then he was like, oh, we got to knock, now I can do that exact same play. They knew what they wanted to do. They delivered, they executed, and as a duo, they are still a terrifying force to behold over on Erangel and on many, many other maps as well yet to come. That was really, really great stuff towards the end. I really enjoyed that finish. I think it was pretty classy.
It was very, very classy indeed. And for Ulf to go down to Coops, I mean, again, I'm super happy that Coops is here. He's an awesome player. It's great to see him at PMWC. 4 Thrives, I liked the gameplay. It felt like there was a little tiny itsy bitsy bit of overconfidence there from Huzaifa as he went down towards that south side. I mean, fair enough to them. They're feeling themselves. I would much rather a team was feeling overconfident and pulled that back a little bit. But yeah, let's head over to an interview with Falak to see how he is doing today, which honestly has been fairly good.
All right, thank you very much, Kalaris here for PMWC for EWC 26. I'm with Falak, the man himself, and I want to talk about game 1 here for that Rondo match as a whole. Because Erangel wasn't too impactful. Let's talk about Rondo. you guys were on the west side for quite a while. PK was north of you, and you were a little bit stuck in there, but you kind of made a good meal of it. So what was the game plan for Four Thrives in those moments?
Our game plan was pretty simple from the start, that we have to hot drop, take kills, and just scout. Like whichever places are free, we are just scouting and rotating according to that.
Okay, so, I mean, in that game, 9 eliminations for Falak here, looking for an MVP already by the looks of things. Do you think that it's going to be, there's going to be challenges from other players if you're able to put up those kinds of performances, or is it going to be the Falak show alongside Four Thrives?
Yeah, I mean, it will be a problem for other players if I be consistent, then yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Falak, for joining us here. I'll let you get back to your team. Obviously, plenty more games to come here at PMWC at EWC 26. That is Four Thrives.
This ain't no regular thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion.
Chasing the sunrise, boots hit the ground, hear the battle call. Loot up, lock in, we're ready for it all. Every street, every door, searching for a little more. One squad, one dream, nothing's ever what it seems. The circle's closing in, can you feel it on your skin? Heartbeat like the drum, the final fight has come. Fight till you make it, never gonna break it. Stand your ground and take it, right into the fire. Fight till you make it, every move can change it. Higher and higher, we're reaching for the winner, chicken dinner. Fight till you make it, fight till you make it.
As if there was any doubt, Aurora will end up showing up. It doesn't matter if it's Refis, it doesn't matter if it's Top, Seoul, or Doc. As Top and Seoul were able to finish off that match right there. They get their first win. Actually, it feels like in a long time, unless we go back to PMMI. But for this squad, this is what I wanted to see out of day one, Max.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good win, right? Of course, making it as a duo, Top and Seoul making it happen. I feel like everyone on that team could have made a duo win happen eventually, but really happy with the overall performance from that squad. But you know what? I feel like the reason why they got that chicken dinner genuinely, and I don't know if you would agree, Nipch, on this one, is because a few teams did do a few fumbles here and there, especially Flash. I feel like if Flash take up that hilltop, no way Aurora come out on top and get that chicken dinner. But so many fumbles were made throughout the entirety of that game. Aurora, as a duo, come out of nowhere and snatch away that chicken dinner for themselves.
They did indeed. I really liked how they were playing as a duo, right? So many teams we see, if they're a duo, they keep very much themselves, very compact, don't want to make too much noise, don't want to be seen. Aurora went and took it the other opposite direction, right? We had Zeol on that anchor point in the middle of zone. Then you had Top running around, fending off Nigma Galaxy, going, hey, you don't want to come up here. I promise it's going to be bad news for you if you do. He did the exact same thing with KRX. And in the end, that is what won them 17 points in game number 2.
And that was a team that was also able to put up a good amount of points. Honestly, KRX with 9 eliminations, 15 points totals, Lace.
And you know what I have to say to that? Sorry to everyone who's at home. I just
Great insight.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice.
My chicken, there we go.
Oh, thank you.
That was just my notes for that. But no, look, Hoxie was able to obviously go into contention with Flash. This team right now is using strategy to their advantage. And unfortunate for Flash, you know, it was kind of that contention having both of them together. But it's the Hoxie show today. Was able to sort of hold off that and revive the team and have them sort of get back into that game. I liked how in this position here, they were able to cause the Smokes to move positions against Aurora. They sort of scouted them first in this part. But obviously, you know, being on that lower side of the ground was a difficult feat heading on in. Aurora did read that incredibly well. But I mean, for this duo to be able to compete against the likes of that, I think they did incredibly well moving to that final zone.
You're talking about Hoxie, and I want to say Hoxie was great, especially in that fight versus Flash, as you mentioned, but also early on versus Al Ula. That was a speed run. That was a PUBG Mobile. What was happening on that? Yeah, okay, I agree. Good point. But no, really, that fight, he creates an opening opportunity by getting a first nade knock onto Al Ula. And the entire team, Niptura just rocks up. They nade them all at the same time, and you blink and you miss it. All of Alula just fully eliminated. One of the quickest fights I've ever seen on the global stage. What the hell?
Yeah, and that's how you want to do it, right? If you're going to go in, you got to go in big and instantly, because you want that team to not have any recourse at all. You want them to not know you're there, and then the next minute they are thinking about what happened in how you want to play PUBG Mobile. And yeah, exactly what they said.
That's exactly what they said. I want to actually rewind.
Yeah, it was a lot better. We did see them send full. Okay, some knocks. Okay, they're taking Abe, bringing that one back.
Ooh.
What is the vibe of the event? That's what you want to know.
The vibe. Yeah. might as well just add some movement to it. Max.
Yes.
Natura.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about the NA King, none other than Coops, baby, because he ended up showing up. He's back. Enigma Galaxy being able to respond in a big way, especially with what happened early on in Rondo. This is what we want at Enigma Galaxy, especially with the way that they were playing too. They were playing a lot of edge early on.
Yeah, I mean, during PMWC Season 1, the fact that Coops was not able to play for that team, it left a void, right? And it was felt throughout the entirety of the tournament for Enigma Galaxy. But he came out popping off against Ulf there, this 2-2 split. Like, he's where he's going to survive. But you forget one important point. He's Coops. He's built different. And he just comes out beautifully, able to get himself those 2 eliminations. And he knows I'm maybe not going to make it to the podium, right? And he just tries to secure those 2 eliminations on Ulf. He knows when he has to give up to secure as many points as possible. It's a great mindset to have here at PMWC.
I didn't know if you knew this, but Coops hold chickens and chicken winner dinner. So I think it just goes hand in hand.
It does.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what we need? We need a
like that
counter
segue?
for how many times we actually have the chicken sound throughout the day. If you're able to keep track of that, make sure you use that hashtag EWC and hashtag EWC26. Share it on social media. And I'm still waiting to see some edits. Means by Kainat. Leo, I'm looking at you. I want to see those edits. One sounds from Max and Natura earlier on. And later, we might even get laced into that. And don't forget, use your predictions as well on the EWC play app. But now, I want to see the predictions. I want to see, no. Aurora Gaming there, tied up with 4 points.
I can hear Kalaris saying in the background, the South Korean overlords. Yes, he's so happy about it. I mean, clearly so good. Hoxie, we talked about him in this game, but Bgmi had some great moves in Rondo, even Tiari from time to time. So I'm very happy they can be number one, especially a single chicken dinner, which I do believe, spoiler alert, they might get eventually throughout the entirety of Group A. But this is looking like a stacked top 5 for all teams. Niptra, I know you and me were pretty hyped about this team.
Yes.
Just shy of making it top 5. They're going to come out swinging on our next Durango.
Oh, I can't wait. They have been looking really, really good so far. You know, the points don't necessarily add up to a really good game, but they have been making moves, which I'm really appreciating. I do want to go just very quickly, though, on to 4 Thrives there, is that, yes, in that last game, they did get a bit swallowed up in all the teams going to the same position. That's fair. However, we are seeing like 16 eliminations, 5 placement points. I don't like that.
Mostly from the Rondo too, right?
Mostly from the Rondo, exactly. So for me, I'm kind of just like, oh, I hope that changes quickly.
What do you want to see exactly out of 4 Thrives, though, since you don't like what they're currently doing?
But they've been having some points is a great answer. Short
Placement
answer, points. Long answer, I need them to continue to be a little bit more like that Rondo. They're more controlling into the end game, and then after that, being a little bit more aggressive. I think getting swallowed up was not the best idea for Erengo, but into the next one, I need a little bit more of a Rondo.
The third party that they were able to do on Futia and Go, though, it ended up working out for them right up until the zone started pushing.
Yeah, it was a good idea, but I feel like it's more like decision-making into the sense just commit to your play.
They have had so many chances where they have gone not side of them, and for some reason they're not making those decisions that you're talking about on those knocks, and then clearly getting third-partied. And something is going wrong with this team, because this is not the kind of stats that they are generally used to pulling in these sorts of tournaments. But I think they've got like three on the board. Like, this is not something we should be seeing from Go.
I know what the issue is. They don't have a hovercraft for Moxie. I didn't see it. This man needs a hovercraft. Get it, and they might get a win.
By the way, on the previous interview that we got from Kalaris too with Falak, that might be the most smack talk that I think I've heard Falak say since he ended up saying, Falak here, Rosemary here. But let's send it over to Kalaris and Jackie at the stage.
That's right, thank you, boys. Of course, I'm here with Jackie to talk about some of the stuff going on so far. I want to talk to you about Geek and how they were able to play out that first game. High ground control, very important, really kind of spread out for a good while. And that win overall gives me high hopes for Big.
Well, you were getting excited even in the green room. James was there effectively like some sort of brain box hooked up to a metaphorical cerebro, draw mad lines and predicting what was an inevitably sick outcome. So you were always on that train and it arrived safely at the proverbial station.
Yeah, it did. I think that technically Fourth Rise could have gone onto that high ground. Make that work. So good start for GK. Obviously going a bit of a tough time to really make it work on Erangel, right?
If you have two of them, that's a good game that impresses me, but we've had some disagreements.
I think disagreements is the right way to describe it, right? Because I think that they replaced Fourth Rise at PMMI, kind of got 23rd place, but you think the GOAT team is on the ramp,
Look, all I'm saying is, much like skateboarding, you got to start, get the gravity, hit that ramp, and you got to go up for a bit. It takes a bit of time,
Okay.
right? You ever been on a roller coaster?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know when you get to the top, you can't drop if you ain't got height, bud. So you got to ramp. And Maxman's been saying they are ramping for some time, and I'd be inclined to agree. GOAT, that spells go. I think they could pop off, bud.
Yeah, I'm on the Fuchs train. Where are you?
I'm more Moxie. The guy's got chutzpah, he's got charisma, and he's going to be rizzing up Paris, I tell you.
There you go. All right. Well, with that, head on over to the caster team here for our next game here for PMWC.
Oh, absolutely. I'm ready for him. I'm ready to get that Riz coming through from Moxie. We'll see if they're able to take it to the battlegrounds, though, as Erangel is our next match. It's our middle Erangel map. We've got 3 today. We've already seen 1. Let's see if things are going to go differently here.
I'm upset that no one talked about Voss in that whole segment. Dude's a madman. Proper. He's the one pushing up the ramp right now.
You know what? We've got the whole game to talk about it, so we can show that.
I don't need that much time. Okay. Well, like 30 seconds was around enough.
You know what?
Yeah.
Pick a side, you know? Enough of this fencing. We're going into this game. From Novo up to Stalborough, heavy east lean on the plane path flank. Places like Georgia Pole, pretty inaccessible, pretty chill.
Well, I mean, they can do both, right? They could easily do Sosnovka. I think for Aurora, Sosnovka drop here wouldn't be a bad idea. Depends how much success they're having in Severny. You got the loot truck over there as well, so I'm sure they want to lock in on that. But it does seem like Aurora is dropping out up towards Sosnovka. Geeky, not doing badly. I think that they had the right idea of it. There was that game we just saw where the greed did come through, right? We saw the eyes turn gold for a second, and then quickly they met their demise. Soon afterwards, the old misers of those locations. But I do think that for Geeky, there was right maneuvers being made. It's just some of that inexperience here and there is coming back to bite them in those situations. I 100% know sooner on that spot. Also, it's a bitter pill to swallow after that last game versus Coops. But yeah, it's a tough position to play inside that shack. That's all they really had to work with. I don't think they had too many vehicles either. Otherwise, they might have set up a bit more of a junkyard in that location. This time around, looking for small points. But again, it's shaping up quite nicely on the leaderboard. It's nice to see South Korea up in front. In first place with KRX, but Aurora, Fourth Rise, Ulf, All Gamers, OG's even up there. These are sort of the teams we expected.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to be looking out for it. The circle did pop during that flank, and it is heavy southeast. It looks like we're going to all corners of Erangel. It does cut in a majority of, well, all of Novo, a little bit of that military island as well. So access is potentially there. Could potentially see some hovercraft rotations. Uh-oh. Oh, what a hop. He's mad with it. Looking good, but the bullets now ringing out from the high ground. Not hitting for quite a while there. We'll finally be able to put that one to bed.
Yeah, it gets him eventually, but might have had an easier time if he had the Ninetales Fury AUG skin, which you can grab in-game today. Make your rolls, make your pulls, try and get that look mighty nice. One of my favourite ones to come to the game so far. Everyone knows I'm sort of biased towards anime skins. Okay, pretty good one. But RRQ is on the send-out currently. You do have them sort of down towards the south side. They're currently playing Milter. A good spot to start off with here. You have a lot of Sosnovka actually into this one, but it's the amount of war involved. Hello! We are live from Paris currently. A lot of fans here with us, which is nice to see. Joining right from the beginning here to support their favorite teams.
Real mix of support from lots of different teams, fan bases. Love to see it. Getting in and amongst it. I think the Galaxy taking down the loot truck, grabbing themselves some goodies from the back, making sure they've got everything that they need, and they will be able to burst those doors wide open. Plenty of ordnance to send down range. And in they go. Coop's going to be taking on the Centra there. Is Max going to be happy? Is he going to get an MG3?
I mean, Ralph's just got a shotgun right now, which isn't ideal, but did get the level 3 vest, which might help him live for a little bit longer when he makes those crazy crashes like he did versus Ulf. Definitely a good distraction, though, to allow Coops to explode onto the scene there. But yeah, what I was talking about is a huge amount of water that's involved here. He's a gargantuan amount. I think for a lot of players, they're quite salty about it, just like the sea, because this is giving very few areas to play. And as you move over towards that southeast side, you're on that slope down towards Milton Power. You have the Deadwoods. This is a very fun area of the map to play in terms of when you've got 16 teams all in play right now, which is why you're seeing a very slow rollout. Most teams realize that they're going to be playing Edge for a long time off the back of this one.
Long enough to maybe see those two of our youngest fans in the crowd grow old enough, maybe, to play in these tournaments themselves. It's going to be a little bit of a slow one, but all for making their way. Nick Galaxy is starting to break away from Potato Hill now as well, looking to try and get away from Pachinki. On the north side, Flasher pushing in past that prison area, looking to send on towards the top of the hill, towards that lumberyard position potentially, or might just draw short on the south side of prison, around those shelter entrances.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we got some loud fans in the crowd today. We got some chanting of 4T, which is always good to see. I mean, they've got some good fans as well. They deserve it for some of the performances they've been putting up so far. 23 points currently. Again, we got to back it off a little bit, though, going into this game. Pull back on the gas, right? I don't think they need to go too hard just yet. They have some strong players on that team, and they have the consistency to work with. And I agree with Seven. It's probably the most smack talk I've ever heard from Falak before. He's a very respectful guy at the end of the day. It's such a menacing game. But yeah, it is funny that for Falak, smack talk consists of, yeah, if I am consistent, you are all going to have a horrible time.
I think that's, to be fair though, I kind of think that's true of maybe any player in this lobby.
No.
It's about it, but it is. That
depends
the
what
consistency is so right.
Well, it depends what your consistency is.
Yeah, okay.
Consistently bad.
I'll say at least 50% of the lobby, if they are on a consistently performing day at their sort of peak. Yeah, absolutely. Anybody on their best day could sweep a lobby like this.
Hey, but okay, let me picture this.
Okay,
let me throw you a curveball right now.
All right,
take Doc.
Okay.
Put Doc on his best day. How many other players really live up to that hype?
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? If Doc's on his best day,
yeah,
nobody stands a chance.
How many, if we say everyone else is on their best day, still how many players live up to Doc on his best day?
Okay, yeah, fair.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You picking up what I'm putting
there? There are levels to this.
Absolutely. There are levels.
You know, there's Doc, then there's maybe Balak, sure. Maybe Coops could potentially step up there. It's been a long while coming, but I liked the little rev of the engine in that last match towards the end that you were allowed to unleash. Weirdly though, yeah, they are completely split right now. I feel like this is something that happens with Nick Galaxy way too often, is that they just split 2 and 2 and they're opposite sides of the map.
You have to give these guys a little bit of credit right now. This is a horrendous rotation to be making. Everyone knows it's really difficult to play out here. This is a fairly central location in the circle. You leave 2 players behind to try and get looted up as much as possible. Nick Galaxy, and then you just make this wild approach. If anything, this has worked out ridiculously well. They have 2 players over on the coastal side down towards Milton Power. If this continues to move southeast, this is not a bad spot to play. And now you have an anchor point to play off the back of. So Enigma Galaxy here, they take a huge gamble. But again, for them, gambles are required considering that first game they had of the day, which was so terrible. But they managed to get 10 on their second match. And with this, they might be able to pump that up a little bit further. So I actually don't mind this. I don't mind this.
Push up those points, get a little bit more amongst it on the tables. It's the backstop for Nick Galaxy. Look at a regroup. They've got about 3 kilometers to go before they find their other duo. It's a long road ahead of them on the south side.
This is
fraught with danger.
step 2, yeah.
Yeah, this is
No,
nuts.
maybe we can get to profit, but yeah, step 2's got to come through first.
Yeah, and they've got Aurora behind them as well. This is a pretty nasty spot, I think it's safe to say, for the backstop. The circle does go a little bit more land-based, but it still cuts in maybe 20% water. Keeps that prison position in. The hills to the north of Milt are up towards that lumberyard, the Deadwood as well. Teams are going to have to try and find their place amongst the trees. It is going to be quite close for all of these teams. A bit too close, I think, for most of their liking. I think that's Fourth Ride's coming across the backstop duo of Nick McGalaxy, but nobody's slowing down. They want to get into the circle.
There's a lot of places to play here. We are kind of focusing up around lumberyards. We have that high ground in play, which is going to cut out a little bit of a cone around that central area of this circle. You see it amazing. No one's playing up towards Matt as part of the Popka. Let's try and get ourselves as central as possible. Work our way into this one. Not a lot of fights going through. Teams more focused on the wheel. 10 and 2 right now to get into this circle. So we'll get a secondary close on this one. Coming up shortly. Nick McGalaxy move over further towards that northeast side. They are just about eking their way in.
Okay.
To get to 40.
Blows dealt towards Geeky, but there is an answer, and it's Falak and Zypher now. Looking to try and danger, has to step in. So there's another nade, and T24 is a goner. Zypher stays alive though with the protection of the hovercraft. It's going up in smoke, it's on fire now. Forced out, more nades. DK playing siege to them. IQ wanted to try and stay alive here, but he's bleeding. Falak's nowhere to be seen on this fight.
IQ's down, so Fourth Rise go down to 2 once again. This is a real rough approach over the last 2 games. Even Ulf's getting involved now. They got some good shots there, able to do a little bit more damage to Zypher on a sticky situation. Alula actually not a bad spot. We haven't seen too much out of this team so far. All gamers were instant towards the central of the circle. And they are playing around that lumberyard area.
This is pretty good news for QMDRX on that north side to see Fourth Rise lose of their players early. The team that's chasing going down. Aurora also losing a player. They're pretty happy. DK going down to 2. First place is looking pretty nice right now for them. But remember, this is a chase for top 5 for direct qualification here in Group A and indeed in Group B after this. But it's always good to have an early lead. And that is exactly what they're going to be looking to do here. For Q1DRX on the north side, they are chilling.
Yeah, KRX fighting right now. Looking to push that points count a bit further upwards. Circle does move back down again. You know what, Nick McGalaxy, again, this is a massive gamble. I completely agree with you, right? They've hit 7s across the board, though, and it's worked out. It has worked out for them. They even got themselves a loot crate. I mean, that is lucky. That is a little bit lucky. But we'll see what they can get done with it, because again, Nick McGalaxy has thrown away a lot of end games in the past, even though they get themselves there. I think Coops is that secret bit of sauce that they do require to get into those end games and play them out well.
Ah, this must be how Aurora lost their orangutan there. Doc, yeah, just caught out in the open.
Yeah.
Slow start of the vehicle.
You know what? Aru is looking really good today. I think for Aru, there was always that question for OGs that does the gun skill live up to the hype here at PMWC? Seems like these guys have been doing a lot of work in the back end here, and Aru is showing up as the leader. Zypher will go down. Fourth Rives now out. The first team to leave us here, 16th place.
Very tricky rotate coming through for them. They got split up. They couldn't quite convert over towards GK on their engagement. It looked like they had a really good opener, but the shots just weren't landing. It was unfortunate, but they do fall for it. Aurora, they're looking to keep things trucking low. And remember, we know what they could do with a duo. We've given them an extra player this time. And they've already opened up for an Elim. They're in a pretty cheeky little spot there as well. Down towards those Milk to Power positions, towards mini Milk to Power as well. The warehouses on that south side. Could be a pretty powerhouse spot.
That's right. In Milk to Power.
Oh, power.
Little stock here. I mean, for Ulf, they're playing the ridge side down towards the side of crates. It's not a horrible place to play, but it really depends on the next circle, right? so hard to know where it's going to go because it's still folding over towards Deadwoods. It's still folding back the other way towards Milter Power, as well as Mini Milter. Curious to see how they want to play this out. Goat's really trying to pull the elastic band both ways. They're dead center of it all. Good shots though from Jetforce. I mean, he's been on a bit of a tear today with a massive recovery over on Rondo. Now looking to put the hurt in over. Now looking to put the hurt in over towards Flower H.
Just a couple of petals left on that rotate there, but somehow managing to escape with a little bit of life left in it.
He knocks me no.
He knocks me not, seemingly the conclusion on that one. I think he gets some healing done. Sprout anew. With 3 players alive on the west side. Gaming Stars nade over towards X-Force Rejects. And another one puts the cat amongst the pigeons and takes down Shiva as well. They're not going to be able to get this forward duo back up. Look at the backstops. They're not moving. Not one bit.
Maniac getting some good damage in. My goodness me. What a horrendous circle. Sent over towards the northern side. Look at all the water in play. Ulf just got sent a lifeline though. Kelsey needs to live this rotate though. Needs to get back to the rest of the team. As a 4, they have a good time. Great shot from Aaron.
Where did that come from? All right, all pulling it out the bag, as well as Enigma Galaxy on that south coast side. They can sweep through. Furia looking to try and challenge. Could be a little bit difficult to deal with, but I feel like Enigma Galaxy have the inside track there. You're right, though, to highlight that Aaron spray. It was pretty nutty. The guy is insane. You've talked about being his biggest fan. I think you can be proud in that title right now.
Well, again, the speed at which he identifies the location, understands that this is a shot that he needs to hit right now versus Gaming Stars to ensure that Kelsey gets back to the team, because they know of all people inside this lobby that they have a fantastic chance, at least a top 3 here from this position, but they need to be a 4-man. They have to be a 4-man. Kelsey gets back towards the squad, and this is a great start for them. The rest of the teams will be starting to flow on in now. You've got Aurora down towards that south side, but likely they'll stick around here for a little bit longer, understanding that Mini Milter, as well as the compound down towards the south, likely will move in the near future. Can pick themselves up a couple of eliminations there, and they might be in the next circle too.
Ooh, okay. All right. I feel like if you've made your predictions over on the EWC app, then if you put Ulf in, you might be pretty happy right now. It's a little bit difficult potentially if they have to move away from the coastline. I feel like if you put Enigma Galaxy in as a prediction as well, that could have been a pretty decent shout.
And a surprising one.
Yeah, I think that, certainly given the start of this match, right? But looking at the rest of the lobby, there is a lot more danger on the western side. Ulf taken down with a long-range shot from Mini 14. Might be Reservoir, though. And Ulf are down to 2 active, though.
Yeah. It's 2 players that went down in the front line. Basically, Scarface and Ketch absolutely have to instantaneously help there. It's not the case. Ooh, I mean, I think maybe the 2-2 split was just unfortunate. Alula also get involved, and this is a 4v2 if it comes down to it. Scarface and Ketch got a big old task ahead of them.
Oh, they're going for one, and actually, X-Force Rejects going to slow Gaming potentially from getting involved as a third party on the north side, taking one of their players out. Maniac is down. You've got Q and DRX on that north side as well, who have yet to fully regroup and make their way forwards. A lot of pressure is going to be felt by the positions on the coastline. This southwest side that we're on board with now does need to conclude, as Flash are rolling around the ridge lines, but not quite able to find the opener. They only have 3 players, and RRQ are waiting. They are ready to see who emerges from this one and how many points they can earn from it.
AJL make the move out here. Bows are running in alongside with a blue. I mean, respect to XDZ. I would 100% feel like that was a knock as well. Looked away in that moment. More pressing matches ahead of him. As Zeus backs down. Thundertalk also shots over towards Furia. Furia getting absolutely decimated as they try and pull out from Milter. And Enigma Galaxy, they are just going to play it off with the power grid here.
Oh, Orangutan trying to move parallel to Flash. AGAL as well, but nobody's looking happy as everybody's losing players. 2 players on the back line. Maybe Reservoir if they're quick about it. As Flower looking to pull a player back to his feet, but they won't care. DRX on that north side. They should just be able to tear this one through if RRQ don't get to them first, because they are slamming straight into the south flank.
RQ, yeah, you're right. They are absolutely rinsing spots at the moment with good shots through the smoke. We'll take down Freeran to start things off. Hoxie also took an unfortunate knock and flushed out because of it. Aru, Wizgod looking to stay alive, but it's just down to Aru now. Molotov off towards the right-hand side. It's not quite on target. Immediately, Aru's going to swing round. Lepar has to win this. We'll find Aru. RQ lives to see another day, but with just one player to do it. It's going to be him as the Wanderer inside of the circle. It's going to be close, but should get the first aid.
Looking for more loot as well. Stage 5 is just about survivable for long enough. Hops in, pops the bandage as well. Doesn't have any stims ticking him up just yet. And actually he's going to go straight towards Aurora. Not in the zone either, so has to take a beat to try and get some healing done. Only 2 nades to try and find an opener. And it is just Reefus in this location for the time being. The rest of Aurora look at a regroup now, though. And it's going to get more dangerous for Lepar in the next 20 seconds.
Hell, you know what? I think the Galaxy could go all the way on this one. And it really could be a Galaxy big brain move on the early game to go for that rotate so early away from the rest of the lads at Pachinki. I love it. I really love it. I like the fact that they didn't feel dismayed after that first game. Watching Satan with his head on the pillow was pretty crushing for me, honestly, because I know how that must have felt. I can try and understand it. But for them to come out with this kind of maneuver in game 3, love it. I really do love it. And if it pays off, that will give them some great confidence into the future.
Or maybe it could be a false positive, you know, like this. It's so difficult to call things like that. Aurora suffering heavily. They are still 3 players alive, and all 3 are in the zone, but they're under a lot of pressure. This is Lepar actually doing the damage. Over towards Popsiol, pop all those smokes around him to try and keep his teammates safe, and I think they're going to get this res. Gaming Stars under pressure. As the Kawum DRX managed to move into position, but look at the step up. Biddy gets rebuffed, and it might just be going south for the Koreans. As TRE just has to stare from behind the tree as Benny falls down on location. 2 players now, and the north side getting dismantled. Gaming Stars holding strong. The nade doesn't connect.
TRE still alive here. Next nade might be on target. Exploded by the side of KRX. He's down. Gaming Stars right now looking awesome, but are now down to just 2. All for weather the storm, but man, they would have loved to have more players up there. And it was very livable down towards that south side. I think they wanted to keep tabs on that northern edge, though. It is just really good shots coming from Gaming Stars to 1-2 punch both Kelsey and Aaron. Again, potentially is a moment there where one of the players should have just dropped back, smoked rather than trying to reaggress on that trade. But we didn't quite see exactly what happened there, so we just don't know. Next circle comes through. Nigma Galaxy have to move. They're one of the only teams outside the circle right now. Aurora look to back it out slightly, but it is just sitting ahead of them from Thunder Talk.
I think they're going back for vehicles here. They want to get a little bit of speed into this one. They are the only team with 4 players alive. Looks like, yeah, they're going to step in. He's waiting for the right time. Okay, yeah, they're recalculating, recalibrating. And they're going to try and move forwards. You imagine that they're going to be trying to pop smokes potentially over towards Goat's direction.
One vehicle.
And down the hill. They're covering their rotate.
Ralph's going to stick behind. Makes sense. Sitting's directly underneath. Not going to cause any problems.
Might do.
One vehicle does move up. Gets into position. Some damage sent through.
Ooh, if one of them takes a heavy hit and drops down to try and preserve the health bar, it could be that Sitting's just going to wait and take those shots. He's still in the zone, and he hasn't made a move for a long, long time. I don't know if they're aware of his position.
Ralph is very low. They know roughly where they're coming from now, and Ralph opted to stay behind just in case, but his approach is going to be very difficult. Going to get on his belly and snake his way in. Smoke's going to have to be used here to get him up into position. Yeah, but for Goat, these buildings are crucial right now. The game will slow down massively, at least for the time being. Aurora's got a coupe to work with. That's about it. Not the most denser vehicles either. That will go up in flames pretty quickly.
Well, it depends who's taking shots, because I don't think Enigma Galaxy can go for the full volley at the moment. Don't necessarily have the angles to go for a full team volley at it at the moment. It depends on where they're trying to go for Aurora, but I feel like they've got a little bit of time, maybe about runway to play with before it will just go down. And 5 seconds is enough to do quite a lot.
Quick sweep round. A little bit of information. See where those shots do come from. They have the sideline slightly covered up from Goat here, but as they move further down the road, it becomes not so much. And they almost have to play in alongside with Goat because Goat is so secure in this location on the southeast. Enigma Galaxy knows that too. They're waiting for the next circle to pop, which is taking its sweet time. And there's the MG3 job.
Yeah, it was. I spotted that one earlier in the Elim feed. I forgot to bring it up, but managed to pick that one up, I imagine, very early from the loot truck in Pachinki. And they've been marshalling it ever since in the hands of Satan. Nades on in. Trying to find the player, sneaking his way through. Not quite connecting this time. Gaming Stars, the team to draw our current table toppers to a close. PMWC did fall to them. They couldn't quite push through on the...
They know there's another team here because they didn't fully finish out Ulf there, so they know the rest of the squad must be further down. Oh, you must be joking me. It drops over towards Enigma Galaxy on that southeast side, but for Thunder Talk, 3 points. 3 points.
Absolutely. They should be able to survive probably up into a third place after this. Aurora still taking so much trouble from Lepar. I think with this circle, though, for Aurora, what are your choices here? Is it just go for go?
I mean, you could probably try and rock up over towards where Ulf is playing on this north side. It's a hell of a dash for yourself, but if you can try and get yourself in and amongst the rocky outcrops, is probably the best way to go. Because if you try and crash Enigma Galaxy, you get shot at by Go, and Go is going to be a hard crash and a half. A hard crash and a half.
Well,
they're going to go for it, but 2 players go down instantly. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no good option there for Aurora. But PMWC going to be pretty happy with 8 teams still alive. It's only a single placement point that they would find, so they may just be able to maintain their spot at the top. It really doesn't feel like there's 8 teams alive in this circle blank, but there's so many stragglers and only 1 team with 4. Of course, Enigma Galaxy, with their mad dash earlier, able to do a lot of work from this cliff top. With 4 Elims they found. Reefus is crawling forward. The bar finally goes down. That allows Reefus a lot more latitude for movement.
Yeah, it does, but also Ulf now is giving away their position. Rough idea where they are. Good shot again. I mean, Ulf's spotting him. Ulf is spotting him. I said he could see a marble from a mountaintop, but just as easily finds the marble in the grass as well. Now looking down over towards them. Reefus is the last to fall, and from 8 to he goes 4.
Very, very quick. And remember, there is still that solo, so it's pretty much 3. Thundertalk leaving their lone wreck down on the bottom of the cliffs, shotgun in hand, cowering underneath the rocks.
Yeah, I like how I gave a little bit of love over towards Force. He's been offed, barely off in this game. Okay, shots coming through from Kedge. I mean, what else can you do, really? I mean, Enigma Galaxy has a lot of control here. Goat's going to have to push out, and Enigma Galaxy is fairly easily covered. It is wild the amount of water that's still in this circle, and finally we pull back to the benefit of Goat. They're going to be very happy with this one.
They keep one of their buildings in, although not all of them looking super happy. However, they're really not in any danger right now. They can just put their players around this building, not really worry too much because they know everybody else is over on this cliffside.
It's an impossible game for everyone, but Enigma Galaxy, I'm not going to lie to you.
You think? You reckon?
Yeah.
I think with good circles, Goat might have a chance.
And what circle are you looking for?
Southwest, southwest. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
We do have to end the game at some point, John.
No,
okay.
Let's keep it going forever.
Yeah, I mean, if they could, if we could get a stage 11, it'd be great. But I just don't see anyone else winning this. We all know when you play in these areas, as soon as you come out to this open ground here, it is a death sentence. If they had vehicles, maybe they could hit a flying V over towards the loot crate. They have to move now. If Go wants to win the game, they have to move now whilst they're fighting.
They have to read it. They have to get out. But do they have the smokes? Are they in position? Do they have the vehicles even to make this one move forwards? I believe that they do. Another nade over the top from Lord as the backlines are keeping Enigma Galaxy on 4 players. Ketch gets rezzed, and now they're back as 2. Another nade goes long. They're not quite finding it. They're holding out. A nade forwards, catches them on the back line, takes them super low, but it's not quite enough to stop Coops and Lord rolling on forwards. And Lord is down. Coops is low. Where are Goat, Blank? Where are they?
I mean, to be fair, they left Satan behind with the MG3. That's a good weapon to hold on. But finally, they're thinking, potentially, we got to make a move off the back of this. They've been setting up this smoke train for quite a while. This is good, actually. I quite like this from Goat. They have to take this opportunity. It's a little bit late, but again, it takes a long time to set up those smoke trains. Sitting is very happily looking for his 2nd place.
You can hope. 3rd place right now, guaranteed for him. A nice little boon to Thunder Talk to get them off the bottom of the tables. Hopefully, a big nade. Takes a lot of damage off the MG3 angle as well. Over onto Satan. That's going to force him to go for the heal. And he's down.
Bad.
The MG3 out, and Ralph now is isolated. Bootsman on the top of the building has got that high ground advantage to potentially find Ralph. The drop down came through from Lord as well. He's down in the water. He's looking for the last straggler from Thunder Talk. They kind of know where he's going to be now, and they're scouting it out, but they may have overcommitted to this split. Lord needs to get back into an angle where he can contribute to this fight.
Yeah, no, I mean, Sitting is still here. Could cause a big problem for them. Starts to get his way back up the hill right now. Like you said, getting the MG3 down is really bad news. Good shot from Coops once again. He has to be the man of the moment right now. Boots on the back line is a big deal for them. But the circle is starting to push them in. This is where it gets hard. Goat wasn't able to create enough of an opportunity. Killer Joe with some good shots back that way.
Putting them back and giving them a scare. Killer Joe does go down, and Coops now steps up for more, but Bootsman's not suppressing the angle. Goat playing with 2, and they're on the cliff. Lord is down. Coops now under pressure, and they are melting underneath it. Thunder Talk, they do finally fall, but it's only 1 player. It's all up to Coops, and he's dropped down.
Coops has fallen off. I mean, for Enigma Galaxy, it felt like they just crumbled like a stale biscuit underneath. Go tough. Moxie looking down towards Coops. He's the final player left alive, and Go is going to be able to get up to the 3-man. Where was Lord? Where was Ralph's rebuttal on that western side? And Coops goes down to the zone. Goodness me. Go get themselves the win. I mean, Jackie was right all along.
Moxie hits them with the Riz here in Paris. They are able to find the chicken dinner of what seemed to be an impossible scenario. I feel like Enigma Galaxy just got in their own head.
Yeah, I feel like pushing Ulf wasn't a necessity, though. I feel like the biggest threat came from Goat that game. That's where you should have been looking. That's where you should have been watching. As soon as you start seeing the smoke train being unleashed, be like, guys, you've got to come back. There's no reason to push that far out. Those players are going to come out to the open eventually. Goat will see them first. They'll likely take shots, and we can always just smoke off our angles versus them. We don't need these 2 eliminations, but we do not want to lose the chicken dinner. That's what matters more. Really unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate. But that western side between Satan and Ralph, there wasn't a lot of pushback over towards those players.
No. I mean, I'm also slightly intrigued as to the reasoning for Lord's drop down there and towards the end as well, because, I mean, you have, unless he just lost his footing, right? This is after that had all happened and he climbed back up, but it felt like he needed to be on that cliffside.